मेडिकल फैकल्टी के लिए जो है वो कंडक्ट करा गया था, जिसमें कि हमारे नोटो के हेड डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार, रोटो के हेड डॉक्टर विपिन एंड जो है सोटो के हेड और हमारे जो हैं फोरेंसिक के हेड जो हैं पटियाला के, उन सब ने पार्ट लिया। और इन लोगों ने ना ही यहाँ पे पार्ट लिया बल्कि इन्होंने हमारे जो है डोनर फैमिली को भी सब उनको जो है ऑनर किया।
Brain death certification program for all of us. This is way back in 2017, and we had the honor of Dr. Anil Kumar coming even at that time along with Dr. Anup Kumar. And sir, your efforts of that has yielded result after 7 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you, chairpersons. Good evening, everyone who is present. And basically, I'll be talking about the role of NOTO. And I also, at the outset, thank the organizers for inviting me. And I was really thrilled to have attended that inauguration, which was there, and the entire district administration as well as all the stakeholders were present, and the family along with the village sarpanch had attended that felicitation, which shows commitment, and I'm very hopeful that this will go a long way in furthering the cause of organ donation in the country. So I'll be just a minute. Organ donation is, organ transplantation rather. We have these two mythological examples when Lord Ganesha's head was transplanted with a elephant's head, and we have the Dichi, Rishi Dadichi, who donated his bones for the sake of humanity, he gave up. We have our Honorable Prime Minister from the top level, many times he has spoken that one organ donor can save 8 lives. So in his Mann Ki Baat program, and so this support is coming from the top level also. That is really commendable. I'll just present few data slides, but I'll go through them quickly because I want to focus on the role that NOTO has. This is the requirement of organ transplant. These are the new patients who are added every year. So roughly 2 lakh new patients of kidney every year, for 50,000 patients of new patients of liver failure every year, 50,000 heart failure patients every year, and they all require transplants. And this is the number which is there in our waiting list. Everybody has not been registered. These are the numbers which are registered in the national waiting list, and this is the number that we did last year, the last column, that we did 13,426 kidney transplants, out of which 1635 were from deceased donors, 4,491 from liver transplants, out of which 840 donations were from liver.
respected chairpersons and the organizers, the Shriman Hospital team as such, the Ima Jalandhar chapter and Soto Punjab. They have done a wonderful job by conducting this workshop, the Sanjeevani. Esteemed participants and Director Noto, who especially came from Delhi first to Amritsar. He has a meeting there in GMCH Amritsar. Now he is here with us and addressed so many queries. To start with my topic, the challenges and achievements in northern region in organ donation, I will just put forward the query raised by ma'am, who is the MC, regarding donors and recipients meeting. Only few days back, 4 or 5 days back, I got a phone call from Leh, an IAS officer whose sister's organs were donated in Fortis Hospital, Punjab, few months back, and corneas were brought to PGIMER. And what was the request? The donor's son is going to get married in December this year, and that too in Chandigarh. And the request from the son is that जिनको कॉर्निया ट्रांसप्लांट किया गया है, अगर वो अवेलेबल है, आ सकते हैं तो वो आए और मेरी माँ का आशीर्वाद मुझे मिलेगा, वो मेरी मैरिज देखेंगे. So it was very, ethical dilemma for me. I spoke to the surgeon, cornea transplant surgeon in PGIMER, and he said, as Dr. Anil told, it's difficult to connect donor and recipient. But I told this is the request, and you please talk directly to the one who is giving the request. So I made them to talk to each other. So rest I don't know. Let's see. But the emotions are like that. Every donor's family wants to see his or her donor organs or corneas or tissues working in some others. So that is a great gift which is given. We of course honored Mr. Baldev Singh's family here, which is a great initiative by Shriman Hospital. Now coming to the challenges. The big challenge, the elite audience sitting here. Can you raise hand how many of us has pledged the organs? So quite many of us, that's very good. But the one or those who have not, please go to the link which has been shown by Dr. Anil Kumar to pledge the organs. This is the start. So coming to the challenges, we have many challenges in North India. We are always in red, red state we are shown here in northern India, and all green is for south.
Our organ transplant framework in India is NOTO at Delhi, ROTO at the regional areas, and ROTO North is in PGI Chandigarh. And under ROTO comes the SOTOs, that are state organizations like we have in Soto Punjab. And then under the SOTO comes the non-transplant organ retrieval centers, the transplant centers, and the organ tissue banks. So this is the other way, pictorial form of showing how the SOTO is working under ROTO and NOTO, and how SOTO is to take care of the transplant and the retrieval centers. So organ retrieval centers are the facilities for retrieving organs from deceased donors, and main objective is to preserve organs for viable transplants. So retrieval centers are the key players in the organ transplant ecosystem under National Organ and Tissue Transplant Program. Retrieval centers are a critical link in the donation transplant chain. It increases availability of organs by expanding retrieval beyond transplant centers, and it ensures better organ utilization and it reduces wastage. Any institute which has an ICU, an operation theatre and a transplant coordinator, they can have a retrieval center. But yes, definitely that institute has to get registered themselves as a retrieval center. That registration process is free. The renewal of registration process is again free. The transplant centers, they have to get registered and they pay for that registration fee. But retrieval centers registration is all free of cost. Now the key functions for retrieval centers are, first of all, we need to identify and verify the donor. And then comes the consent process. Then we need the evaluation of the medical and the surgical documentations, and the organ is retrieved and preserved, and then is the coordination and the transport of the organ to the recipients. Starting with the first step, that is, if there is a roadside accident patient admitted in the ICU, we need to identify, is it a potential donor? ICU teams will identify those potential donors. Then the brainstem death committees, which are constituted within that institutes, they will confirm the brainstem death following the strict protocols and ensure all the legal and medico-legal.
Thank you, sir, for the presentation. I would just like to add one myth, particularly among doctors. Not a myth, but a reality that even brain dead patients can have bodily movements. When we are declaring brain death, if a patient is moving, spinal movements are very common in brain death, even in cardiac death. 2 days back, we received a patient in our emergency who was brought dead, but he was having some jerky movements of the lower limbs. So our medical officers, they were very apprehensive in declaring the brain death, the patient dead, in spite of there being no pulse and ECG showing asystole. So even in cardiac death patients, there can be movements which are from the spinal level, and in brain dead patients, these movements are very common. So any movement should not preclude our decision to declare the patient as brain dead. Thank you.
Sir, just an addition के MBBS curriculums भी यह वाली चीज़ 2019 ऐड हुई है. So सारे time it was not part of MBBS curriculum के organ donation या brain death, what are constituents of it? It was not part of MBBS curriculum. 2019 तो बाद ही MBBS curriculums भी ऐड हुए हैं.
Actually, that was a push from the ministry side कि this concepts of organ donation and brain death, they should be added to the curriculum. MBBS as well as all PG curriculum, basically PG general surgery particularly. So they were added. Yeah.
Hello, thank you.
So today I'm just going to share my journey, or our journey, I would say, sorry, is our journey, and how we would be able to do this transplant. Purposefully there is a tortoise, but this journey has been a long journey. It spans around 20 years, not 2 years, 1 year or 2 years. And everybody is sitting here. Purposefully, I think we have suggested these people, these are the team. This is the all members who have been instrumental in getting all this thing done. So, first of all, my thanks to the whole team for sitting here, including Dr. Vipin. He is the instrumental person who has been responsible for this thing. And so, moving forward, So this whole cause is a great cause, and there's no individual glory in this. The cause is much bigger than any individual, any hospital or anybody. So it needs a collective effort. No single person would be able to do it without support of each part of the society. And this is the beauty of this particular cause. So why you want a disease donor program? The question is why you want it. We all know, number one, there's a lot of dearth of the organs, that is, everybody knows about it. And when you see as a doctor, I can talk about the kidneys. If you see a patient after the transplant, coming back from 10 years, 15 years back, after the transplant, smile in his face, the whole, say, family is smiling, everybody is happy, and nothing can be more satisfying for the doctor for having the smiling face after 20 years or 15 years after the transplant. So that is the one thing, and it is the only answer for the patient. Only answer for the patient who has got the organ failure, as a kidney transplantation. I will say any other organ, but I am talking as a nephrologist, I am talking about the kidney transplantation. And contrary to the myth that this is an expensive one, this is most economical solution. The most economical solution for an organ replacement. A 1 year cost of the dialysis would be able to is sufficient to give a kidney to a patient. And I think even the government needs to think about it. The government is sustaining a dialysis program, which is much more expensive than sustaining a transplant program. And the Gujarat is an example for it, where they have made it free for. And if the government comes forward, like people have been supported in cancer treatment, so it is much cheaper for the exchequer, it is much cheaper for the family, and it is most rewarding thing. So that's why this program is very necessary to bridge the gap. And this is a particular program, like when we have already gone through the COVID situation. This is a program where you need a coordination of all our part of the society, whether it is government organization, local administration, healthcare, and I will not divide healthcare into private and the public. This is, I think, is an unnecessary division. We are together. We are all together there providing the services. This is absolutely unnecessary division. And healthcare, administration, and the society at the top of it, and the center, we all are trying to solve the problem of the patient. And that is where it actually motivates a person to go for this type of program. Now, when I was in Patel Hospital, say around 20 years back, we started this program. Say we formed a society called Hope, and we started the program. We went ahead with the pledging of the organs, and at that particular time, what we saw that the society was ready at that particular time. We were able to got the pledging of more than 1,000 patients at that particular short period of time. This infrastructure was there, but at that particular time, the other component of the government and organization was not ready for it. And then we have to come back, and we lied dormant, but it never out of our mind. We kept on trying for it somehow. So the major change came in 2014 when the NOTO was formed, and presently is headed by the Professor Anil. And this is the time the things getting organized in the
आज का जो प्रोग्राम है वो जो हमारे जो पेशेंट थे मिस्टर बलदेव सिंह, जिन्होंने अपने ऑर्गन डोनेट करे थे, उनकी फैमिली ने उनके ऑर्गन डोनेट करे थे उनके ब्रेन डेथ के बाद में, उनको ऑनर करने के लिए ये प्रोग्राम जो है हमने करा था। ये एक ऐसा काम है जिससे कि बहुत सारे लोगों की ज़िंदगी को नया आशा मिलती है, नई ज़िंदगी मिलती है, एक फैमिली नई ज़िंदगी मिलती है। और इसी चीज़ को ऑनर करने के लिए, इसको बढ़ावा देने के लिए, इसको आगे लोगों को ले जाने के लिए कि जिससे लोग इंस्पायर हो सकें कि वो अपने ऑर्गन को प्लेज कर सकें और जिससे कि जो है बहुत सारे लोगों की ज़िंदगी बढ़ सके। तो ये सारा प्रोग्राम जो है उसके लिए रखा गया था। सेकेंड हाफ जो प्रोग्राम था वो मेडिकल फैकल्टी के लिए जो है वो कंडक्ट करा गया था, जिसमें कि हमारे नोटो के हेड डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार, रोटो के हेड डॉक्टर विपिन एंड जो है सोटो के हेड और हमारे जो हैं फोरेंसिक के हेड जो हैं पटियाला के, उन सब ने पार्ट लिया। और इन लोगों ने ना ही यहाँ पे पार्ट लिया बल्कि इन्होंने हमारे जो है डोनर फैमिली को भी सब उनको जो है ऑनर किया और सपोर्ट किया। साथ में डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन भी हमारे साथ में यहाँ पे था, जिन्होंने डोनर फैमिली को जो है ऑनर करा, जिसमें वे मिस्टर स्वपन शर्मा, हमारे पुलिस कमिश्नर और हमारे SDM, बहुत दोनों लोगों ने यहाँ पे आए और उन्होंने अपना समय निकाला और डोनर को जो है सपोर्ट किया और अप्रिशिएट किया।